Welcome once again to the Sage. Welcome to our third and final episode on poultry farming for food, for meat on the family table. It's been amazing. I'm all raring, ready to go start poultry farming myself as soon as this program is over. We have amazing young experts on set who have been sharing with us and are telling us what to do at every stage. If you remember and have been part of the previous episodes, if you haven't, all the episodes are actually available on our YouTube. Please do go and view those. They told us about preparation, deciding, understanding the various types of chickens that can be grown, ungrown, and the purpose, deciding on the number we want, estimating the budget, and therefore usefully making the decision about embarking. They've discussed with us the kind of habitation, the cage we create, and what we do that will be the right size for our needs and the type of size of poultry we have. They told us about keeping it clean, how important that is and how it should be done. And now, we move on further. On the screen, we have the names of our guests, so I won't waste their time by repeating it. But please, so what do we do? Now the chickens are housed, they're there, we're cleaning, but how are we feeding them?
So when it comes to feeding, is the part that is most, that you have to spend money on, is the costliest part of the business.
Thank you for being honest with us.
So I have to be honest, I have to be honest with you, because feeding alone, it takes like 70% of total cost of production.
Wow.
70%, if not more. So now you have to be careful of how you feed your birds. So now I will not advise you being a novice in the business to go and start formulating your own feed by yourself. The only thing you can do is to buy commercial feed to be formulated to meet the need for the bird already. So now to buy the feed depends on the birds you have. Is it broilers or layers or broilers? That is the drop purpose bird. So the breed of the fowl determines the food you'll be eating. So if you have broilers now, their food is different. So the food is already made, you just give it to them. So within 6 weeks they mature. Right? So the broilers now, those are the multi-purpose bird. You can be kept for meat, they can be kept for egg as well. And those ones now you don't have to spend much on them. Once they grow to a particular stage, like maybe 8 weeks or so, you can start giving them your house waste like food crumbs that are remaining. So the food, maybe there's a leftover food, you can give it to them. They will eat and they are fine. You don't have any problem at all. Those ones they are easy to take care. So and the food you are giving them shouldn't be food that already spoiled. It shouldn't be spoiled food, so that they won't be having fungi or anything that can affect them. So it should be fresh. Maybe okay, just finish eating the food and it's left. You can just give it to them. And should be something they can finish in a few minutes or a few hours.
So anything we eat, really, they can eat.
Yeah, they can eat it.
Eba, rice, anything.
Those ones don't care. They don't care about it. And they will still give you results. But the broilers now, they can't do. They don't encourage that. They can't grow well on that kind of feed. So you have to. That's why you need to buy already formulated feed. So when you buy it, you can give it to them. They will grow well. But now the feed is very costly. It is so costly. I'm not sincere with you. It's the challenging part of the industry. So now if you buy feed at a very high cost now, you are feeding into the birds. You have to be careful that.
I'm going to again task you with saying yes. We know prices are changing on a daily basis, but as of today that you're here talking to us, what is the cost of estimated cost of a bag of feed?
Okay. Depending on the company. So the cost of the feed is depending on the company. So some company like Top Feed now. So they have different types of food. So we have the broiler ration, so we have the broiler plus, we have the top line, so like that. But the one that I recommended for the broilers for fast growth is the broiler plus. Now is around 90,000, maybe 200 or 300. 19,300 or 200. So we have other companies like that. We have Ultima, we have
Vital.
We have Vital.
So if I'm breeding 10 chickens, how long will a bag last me?
For 10 chicken, If it's from day old, a bag should last for like maybe 4 weeks. If it's just 10, you should carry them. You should carry them for 4 weeks. It may even be more. One bag will be enough for them.
Tony, do you agree because you are rearing commercially?
I agree. I definitely agree with him. He's actually on point. He mentioned a lot of it. Those are the like something about the feeds is that the ones the ones are very proteinous are the most expensive. The ones are very proteinous are the most expensive. Like now, we have feeds for the day old, we have feeds for the ones that are growing, and we have feeds for the grown ones. So now the feeds for the day old, those ones are those ones are the most proteinous, because at that point in time they need protein. They need protein.
And they're very delicate.
Yes,
right?
very delicate. And we have they have names, and they have the grower, we have the finisher, and we have the starter. So as the name implies, the starter is the one you start with. The grower is the one you grow. Then the finisher is the one you when they've got to the point of sale. That's the one you use.
That's something those people selling selling feeds,
yeah.
we definitely asked you. Now, because of our target audience, which is the families and the individuals, so perhaps if you are going for broilers for meat, so and then you bought a brooded one, so you just have to buy starter or super starter for additional 2 weeks to make it 4 weeks altogether, and also then just finish it with finisher. So, but it is when you just get there to any retailer's shop, just tell them the business that this is the age of your best, that which feed do I buy for them.
Very important information.
So just ask them. And also perhaps when you talked about this feeding nutrition, is very essential. It's is a paramount aspect in when it comes to farming, poultry farming. The feeding is very essential. And also perhaps you can say it, and then you brains as a family, when you consider the price of a feed now, that 19,200 naira for a top feed broiler ration, that's broiler plus. So it's worth it for you to get, because at the end of the whole production cycle, then when you just do the ultra estimate, you know that you've already saved cost than going to go and buy the mature one from a commercial. Because the answer is we are finding a way of mitigating, and they're trying to make each family to have food on their table, to have protein to pound down on, to heat on. So it's also advisable for them to do such a thing, and I will advise and encourage that they actually put it on. They should not look at the cost of the feed for now, but their health is wealth, and it's very they should also consider that also. It will really help them very well.
Okay, I think we all agree totally with you. It may seem expensive when you say, oh, the one bag is almost 20,000, but in the long run, by the time you harvest, I like the word harvest, your particular bird you're putting on your table, you will find that everything taken into account is still cheaper than what you will have paid to go buy a chicken. Plus the fact that the cost of a chicken is increasing every day anyway. I mean, last year we could buy for 2,000, 2,000, 3,000. Today we're buying for between 7,000 and 9,000. Who knows what will happen in another few months? You'll be buying for
few weeks is long.
In a few weeks, you'll be buying for 15,000, 20 a chicken, and then you won't be able to buy. But when you start on this today, it's never too late.
Never too late.
It will always be cheaper than that one, and you will have good quality meat that you're sure of on your family table. And like we said, when enough of us begin to do it, we reduce the overall demand and will help deflation. So will become, inflation will begin to reduce. So there's logic in it. There's work, but of course, nothing good in life comes easy.
At all.
In anything good, there is work.
There is work.
Yeah.
There is work.
And there's something we failed to mention is the part of vaccination and medication. So when you go to a poultry house, your senses must be active. Your eyes, your ears, and even your skin should be sensitive to what. Once you enter the house, your nose must be active because what you perceive, the sound you hear, what you see with your eyes determines what is wrong with the bird. Best, you can't say this what is affecting them. So you have to be able to design what is affecting them at a particular time.
I love that because that is also when you rear any living thing, you have to have your instincts. Well, if when you're nurturing your baby, when you're looking after your baby, they can't tell you what is wrong. They will cry. You must figure out what is wrong.
This is definitely what is wrong.
Wrong. It is by observation. Yeah. So that's such an important point.
And the things you look out for when you get to poultry house, you look at their waste products, you look at their comb, that is the head. So you look into their eyes, how the eyes are used. So once you notice that there's a difference in their mood today, you notice it. And then you look at, okay, once you see their waste product, maybe their droppings, the color of it, maybe watery, the color, maybe is it green, is it white, is it red? Those are symptoms that something is wrong with the bird. Because the normal color of their waste product is ashes, black like it. So you see ashes inside it. But when you are seeing red, when you are seeing white, something is wrong with them. When you are seeing something is definitely wrong, and you have to act fast before it gets into their system.
And what does that acting entail?
Medication is cost for medications for them.
So how do we get those of us who are lay people?
So
who do we go to for advice and help?
It's actually very simple. Usually, as he said earlier, you say if you go, it's just as say you're going to buy feed. For instance, you come to the person, they usually vet. So you come to the person, okay, this is what I've noticed.
So it's to ask for that expert knowledge, advice about describe the symptoms of the bird and therefore what medications to give.
Anytime you notice changes in their behavioral way, because normally if fowl saw the owner they are coming, there is a way that they used to welcome me, like a dog will be wagging the tail. Your fowl also we say, wow, food is coming, like like my brother said,
do that. They're on
food is coming. But
yeah.
once you notice that one was just lying there, definitely something is wrong. So once what you treat for one, you treat for all. You can't just, but perhaps you can first isolate that one that is being done, that is not showing the sign of excitement. You can first isolate that one. But what you treat for that one, you treat for all.
Okay, so the
just
treatment
like
is not just
it's just like a preventive way, because one way or the other, perhaps maybe the feces which that one have defecate,
many of these
one
things
has
are
already
viruses and so on, and are transmissible.
one has already pecked on it, so it might not, the behavioral changes might not even change immediately.
Yeah, it's incubation.
So it's just like, okay, perhaps
period,
so that's why you have to treat all, not the isolated, because some these backyard farmers actually, they often make that mistakes when they come to the vet shop to say, oh, this is what is one fowl that is having that kind of problem. We have to tell them that if it is one fowl, definitely you have to treat all. We do advise them, but due to the cost implement, as I say, it's only one fowl that is no, but
yeah, they just want to buy small medicine.
So you have to treat all, and garbage in, garbage out. The way you treat your birds, they will give you the results. If you treat them well, you feed them well, you get the result of your diligently feeding them well and treating them well. But otherwise, also, you get the results.
We don't want that negative result. Okay, that is interesting. So for me, I want to highlight again, at what stage did you say families can actually largely feed their birds from their own food leftovers? At what stage was that again?
So if it's the broilers, I will not So I not like encourage that maybe to
At
broilers.
any stage.
But if they are like 8 weeks, so since it's for personal consumption, so they can give them. Because it should be what they will finish in a few minutes. So they won't be
Okay.
left over.
Okay, that will begin to spoil and
Yeah.
rot there.
And
Okay.
what's there.
So you're saying from 6 to 8 weeks, they can actually start eating household stuff,
Yeah,
house food,
the waste
and not
garbage.
necessarily these expensive feeds, right? Okay.
And those- they are not tolerant to harsh weather conditions in the broilers. So that's why they are intermediate between the broilers and the local. So I would like to say this. When you get to your poultry house, the best time to notice changes in their behavior is early in the morning.
Early in the morning.
That's when you notice their actual state, whether they are active or they are down or they are so that's when you know it very well. If you go there early in the morning, you don't see them jumping up. When you open the window, when they see bright light, see them jumping or flying. Like that means they are okay. Those are the signs you will see. Or just open up the window, you open up the curtain there, they just stand so lonely or just looking at you like who's here?
Oh,
That means something is
there's
wrong.
something wrong.
Something
They're
wrong.
crying for help.
Hey, something is wrong already. So if you, like that moment you see some symptom, maybe if you look into their eyes, you'll be seeing water coming from their eyes, from their nostrils. Sometimes you see the combs, the blue.
They have a flu. They have a cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
I mean, if you have those symptoms in a human being, you will know it's a
definitely know
cold, you know. And they also have their cold. You know, it's very interesting. It's amazing when you talk about this animal farming. The chickens know when it's feed time and they rush to you.
Especially
Yeah.
the layers.
The one laying eggs.
Eh?
So they have their time routine. Their body system is accustomed to that specific time. So
Okay.
which means that you must not miss it. And not miss the time interval. And what if
Okay.
I thought you missed it, should be either in the space of some minutes behind or before. So because when it comes to commercial layouts, so they don't joke with the timing. They don't joke with the timing.
Because if you don't
It
time
affect
it
their-
right, they won't produce egg.
Yeah, it affects their reproduction of eggs.
So to our viewers, sincerely though, if you ever find you want more information, you want a particular part of this topic discussed in greater depth, they will be available. And I say that with confidence because they are my fellows. John is a graduated fellow. The two lovely young men on this side are this year's fellows. So yes, we were very proud of the quality of experts that we have around many things, in business, and they're always available, honoring us on the stage, coming to share their knowledge and their expertise. That was a diversion, but a very important one for us. You know.
Definitely, yeah.
So they will be back. Sincerely, they will. Anytime we reach out and think we get from your feedback, an area that could be more explored in detail, they will come back and share their knowledge and their experience. So one other thing that excites me that I want to touch on before we wind up is the fact that there's actually a benefit that we haven't brought out yet. That is in the fact that some of the waste can be manure for some other types of farming. You want to discuss that? You know, for instance, we've talked about the chicken droppings, which every day one needs to clean out. Is there anything we can do with it?
You can use the chicken droppings to plant, for planting. It's a fertilizer. You can use as fertilizers for crops. So when you just pick them, and funny enough is that it's actually a very expensive material now in the market.
Wow, it's in high demand.
It's in high demand.
You see,
very
that's
expensive.
you know, we're being encouraged to do some poultry in the house. You know, yeah.
People that don't plant that don't have crops, they don't plant crops, and have these poultry farms, and these droppings they sell to people that are into crop production. So it's a form. It's a better form of manure than the chemical manure, because that is natural. So
Wow.
it
Wow.
reduces the chemical intake on the plant.
That is wow. That's a very important collateral benefit. You know.
And one thing I will encourage that, because I know from the angle you are coming from, so perhaps if you have your harvested litters like that, so just ensure that they are dry. Once they are dry, you sun dry it. Once they are dry, number one, it's the odor of a thing won't be there. And the ones that doesn't mean that they are not effective to use. That's the most high manure self to mix with your soil. So you just make sure that the litters you are packing out from if they are wet, yes, you can just sun dry them and then dry it and store it. If your time of planting is not yet, perhaps if it is yet, mix it with your soil, then plant. And then, as my colleagues have said, we encourage backyard farming where each family populace we have a backyard or a bucket, just fill it with sand, fill it with this manure, plant vegetables. So these are the things that you can have access to immediately, rather than traveling down to the market to get all those things, and you are not even sure maybe it's even fresh they are getting from there. You are not sure if it's green vegetables you are getting from there. So in as much as doing that, you have good access to health too. And also in the times of the litters, perhaps you don't want to do that, harvest all your litters together, like he has said. Once it's full a bag, sell it. The money collected from there, you also buy feed, because that's something about when it comes to layers. They cannot, the egg they are producing is what they are using to feed them, because when you sell the egg, you used to buy their feed, so they are producing what you are using to feed them. So just like their litters too, once you harvest all the litters together, at least they will do parts, if not all, from the feed you are even trying to buy. Once you sell the litters, then at least join some money with it, then buy their feed and feed them.
You know, my team is, they're telling me to wind up, but there's just one thing I want us to briefly touch on before we do so. And that is the fact that as we embark on this family farming, it's not supposed to be a one time and that's it. It's also important to think about continuity and therefore to talk about the precautions that need to be taken. So you brought 10, you're growing them, you're eating slowly, but when the 10 finishes, are you going to give up? So how do we replace?
When you bring in the less you batch your harvest, it's already exhausting, maybe you have like 2 years. So before you finish the ones you have, you need to have a backup. So that when you finish them, you have something to fall back on again. So you need to go back to
After your children have gotten used to eating meat, now then you
I'm taking eggs.
and taking eggs, you know. So
that's a place of disinfecting the house. So maybe if you have another apartment or maybe another cage, you can use a new cage to take care of the new chickens. But if you don't have a new cage, since you have just 2 legs, you can just keep them in one space, find a small space for them, then disinfect the one you refuse already before you now bring in.
Introduce a new
Because if
one.
you didn't disinfect them, you have something microbial load. So when it gets to that level, sometimes you buy chicken, you like this chicken is not growing. But when I first bought it, with these 4 pipes, I was ready to eat it. But this one, why is it like this? Because of the microbial load. It's affecting their immunity.
they are being challenged by already existing
stock.
microbes within the cage.
In the cage. And when we talked about the litter, let me just go back there again. If you're having a friend that's sitting on the feed already, I would not really encourage that you just carry the litter directly and put on there. Because sometimes they generate heat when they're decomposing.
Yes, that was why I was asking.
So
I had always thought that, and I know cow dung is supposed to do
so
quite
it
that.
generates heat. So and sometimes you just put it may affect because those are tender, they are very tender, they're not that strong like other crops. So with vegetable, you can just keep them in a place. You can wet them a little bit, just put some more water on it, so you sprinkle it, you cover it, so the thing will heat up. Even when you get them in, maybe it's the morning, it's very hot. So with time, you see that the heat would have gone. So at that point, you cannot transfer directly to the feed. But if they are strong crops, maybe like corn, you can just put it beside them, you don't have problem. But vegetable, they may wither away if you use it directly like that. Right.
And so, thank you so much, my lovely young people on Z. They've taught us how to decide what birds we want to farm, we want to grow, how to build the right kind of cages for them, how to keep them clean, how to feed the birds properly, and what to do in terms of replacement. Let us, each family, take it as a challenge and do our very best, do our own bit to put food on our table, to grow it ourselves. The pleasure, the good is well nutritive, absolutely, but also there's a spiritual and emotional satisfaction from doing it. Thank you for having been with us on this journey. See you next week.